Hello, welcome to my full moon reading and ritual. This is going to be for the full moon and lunar eclipse in Libra. So I'm just going to wait a moment for some people to come on, and then we are going to get into collective reading ritual, kind of talk about the energy a little bit. If I seem a little tired, it's because I am. This full moon kept me up all night. I even went outside in the middle of the night and just sat in the moonlight because I was like, okay, well, I'm awake. This is what's happening right now. But I'm just going to wait a moment for some people to come on. And yeah, let me know how you guys are feeling with this energy. I feel like we have a lot to discuss, but it all feels very like, I feel kind of organized about it. Like it's kind of clear what needs to be said and discussed. You know what? I'm going to actually just start pulling some cards that we can get into later while I'm waiting for people to come in, because I started a little early. So I'm going to pull some cards. If you guys feel inclined to share, let me know how this energy has been making you feel. I'll tell you, for me, it's been, well, last night I was up. I just couldn't sleep. The moon had me awake. So I just surrendered to it and went outside and basked in the moonlight for a while, which was great. And probably exactly what I needed. But there's definitely a lot going on right now about like staying on course. I think that there's temptations and distractions, and there might even be more of those coming in. And I just think we need to stay on the course. Stay on the course. Stay on the course. Stay focused on what it is you know you need to do. I feel like a lot of us have that clarity right now, and those distractions might just like pop their head in. So if we're not careful, stressed. Yeah, a lot of people have been talking about anxiety and stress. You know, I shared this the other day on a different platform about like my interpretation of anxiety for myself. This could be taken in the wrong way from somebody who like it's not good for. So like if it makes sense for you, good. If not, let it go. But for me, I always ask myself when I'm feeling anxious, I'm like, am I excited or am I anxious? Because that energy, that frequency feels very, very similar. And I think a lot of us feel a very big shift coming in. Intuitively, we can feel the shifts. We can feel that we're on the brink of change. And I think it's sending us all into this like anxious kind of energy. So if that's helpful for you, maybe test it out and be like, am I excited? Do I know something big is happening? Can this be fun? Or am I in danger? Okay, so I'm going to keep pulling some cards. I've got one so far, which was like very ironically confirming what I was just saying about how like I see these things actually being positive. Okay, so let's pull a few more. I think I'm going to start by pulling some of these, and then we'll get into the ritual, we'll get into the energy. You guys know that I'm not an astrologist, so what I discuss here is purely energy or just very surface layer astrology. This is more about the energy and the reading. But I will talk just a little bit about it because we do have some like really big highlighted events. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about, I'm going to set these cards here. Love what's happening here with the cards. So let's talk a little bit about this energy. So we have a lunar eclipse on this full moon in Libra, and this is happening, I believe it's happening like right at midnight, so it's technically happening on the 25th, but we're feeling it today. Today is when it's going to be like at 100%, you know, today and a little bit of tomorrow. So the thing about eclipses is like faded changes, stepping into greater purpose. But this one with the Libra influence is like a reevaluation of our relationships, or even relationship to ourselves, relationships to people, things, but reevaluating and unexpected surprises, definitely staying on course and setting boundaries. These boundaries could be boundaries with yourself. These boundaries could be boundaries with friends, family, partners. But also with this full moon energy, there's a lot of influence of release and letting go. That's what full moons are all about. So we may be letting go of relationships or connections. We may be letting go to certain dynamics of relating to ourselves. Definitely like highlighting codependency, big endings that have kind of been a long time coming. Obviously there could be unexpected endings as well, but I feel like the energy here is a little bit more of like the closing of a cycle, the closing of a chapter. It doesn't feel like it just like came out of nowhere. It can, but it just feels like big endings of something that maybe you've been brewing for a while, and full circle moments. You can become really aware of like your own toxic traits as well. So like while reevaluating your relationships, you could also be taking a lot more accountability for yourself and how you show up, how you treat yourself, how you treat others, how you choose to relate to others, right? So just being really aware of that with this energy. All of this is leading to a positive space, a better understanding of self and the people around us. So I think that that's the way we need to look at this. It's not like, oh, all our relationships are going to end. That's not what's happening here. You're reevaluating how you relate to people, to be more in alignment with yourself, to be more authentic. And this is a really positive thing. Even if there's heaviness, I would expect kind of feels like, and I've witnessed this within my own life, hard conversations, things coming to a head, uncomfortable conversations, especially with other people, and boundaries, having to really hold those boundaries and say no. No, and no is a sentence, you know what I mean? Yeah. So when I was channeling some of this information, the astrological sign of Taurus was coming up. So that could be something that's related to maybe your placement or an influence. I'm not sure. But definitely the energy of the sun and the energy of water. And then the numbers 8, 4, and 7. So those could be seen together. Those could be seen individually if those are numbers that you feel connected to. Number 8 is obviously a world of like abundance. It's deeply connected to money, but it's also connected to abundance, right? And then the number 4 is like our structures, our families, can also be like in the way that we relate to others. And then number 7 is obviously associated with like good fortune, luck, things kind of being in our favor, being more like magnetic and things like that. So I know that there's a lot of heavy energy happening right now, and we're all kind of feeling it, like we talked about earlier, like the anxiety or like the stress, but a lot of us just know that something's coming, something's changing, and it may not necessarily be like, okay, I need to be really stressed out about this. It might just be like, hey, okay, things are changing, things are shifting. I need to prepare for that or be excited about that. And our nervous system and our energy knows that before we do. So that feeling of anxiety that we might be experiencing right now, that feeling of stress, knowing something big is happening, try to trust that a little bit more instead of feeling I'm in danger, being like, oh, something exciting is going to happen. Something big is going to happen. I just think it's a really healthy perspective shift that can be really helpful for like the intensity of the energy that a lot of us are feeling right now. All right, what else am I going to look at here? So if you guys are just hopping on, I have gone over some information here about this full moon and this lunar eclipse, as well as like some of the information that's come through, but I haven't gotten into the reading and I haven't gotten into the ritual. But this will be available on my page to watch whenever you please. I think let's get into the ritual. So this is just a way to work with the energy. Obviously Libra, this full moon is in Libra. It's also a lunar eclipse, right? So there's like a lot of big endings and shifts that are kind of coming with this energy. But I think what's really important is to reevaluate and evaluate yourself, your life, your connections. And we talked about this before. And now for this ritual, you're going to get a piece of paper and you're going to make a list of everything in your life and people and things and whatever that gives you energy. And then you're going to make a list of things that take your energy. And the reason that we're going to do this is to bring awareness and to take inventory and to reevaluate what we're giving our energy to in our life. So the things that are going to be on your gives me energy list, that's what you're going to want to make more time for in your life. And the things that are going to be on the take your energy list, those are things that you're going to want to get rid of, limit, set boundaries with. because we need to understand where our energy is going. We need to understand what's fueling us. Obviously, there's certain aspects of life that like will take our energy, and it may be something that you have to adapt to, navigate, make space for. But can you create a boundary, right? I could see this being for like maybe somebody who shares custody of a child with someone, and you're like, I don't want to talk to that person, they drain my energy. Okay, so obviously you share a child with this person, so you have to have communication with them, but can you have firmer boundaries? Can you give less energy, whatever way possible, bringing awareness to like your play in it to try to make your life better and less depleting. So when you're done with this list, I think that you should burn it or bury it safely, obviously. I don't think holding on to those things is helpful, but if you do want to hold on to anything, hold on to the list of what gives you energy, like put it on your mirror or something like that. I think that's actually just like very Libra, like put it on the mirror. And remind yourself, these are the things I want to make more time for. Before you before you burn or bury the list of things that take your energy, make sure that you are like setting those boundaries, making those changes ahead of time, because you may forget. And the whole point of bringing this awareness is to like make those changes now in whatever way that you can. So gives you energy list, takes you your energy list, and you're going to make changes according to that. You're going to make more time for the things that give you energy, and you're going to set boundaries, cut off, or make changes with the things that take your energy. So this is a good practice of just like really taking inventory. And again, because this full moon is in Libra, you know, there's a highlight of like our relationships and our connections to other people. So this could be heavily influenced on who you need to set boundaries with in your life and things like that. Okay, so let's get into the cards. Let's get into the cards here. So I already pulled a few. They're out of order in the way that I pulled them, but I think it's exactly how it should be. But okay, so this is interesting to me. So I get the feeling, I feel like a lot of us are being given an opportunity to be seen, to grow, to step into that the starlight is what I want to call it. The spotlight, the starlight. I feel like that's what we're being given an opportunity to do right now, to be seen. But a lot of that comes from the changes that we need to make in our life right now, right? What needs to end in order for us to get there? What kind of boundaries do we need to create in order to have more space for it? And I think that this is directly tied to money or even someone else. So you could be like, I just feel like the facade is like wearing off. So we could be seeing something clear about another person or maybe our relationship to money. And that could be something that's holding us back from this like success or being seen. Our relationship to money itself and the way that we view abundance could be really inhibiting. So you could have that realization where you're putting your money, how you view it, what you're doing in exchange for money as well, or people that are in your life that are involved in money. Just be very aware of that, because I think that they're highlighting here that there's an opportunity to let go of something in order for you to like really step into that starlight. So we have moving. This to me is like very decisive, very clear intentioned, knowing exactly what you want, being ready to make decisions, being ready to make changes. This is like really big energy. And that leading to this like so much fulfillment, emotionally, probably even when it comes to abundance, but just a sense of well-rounded, I am in my energy. I'm in my most like aligned self. I also want to talk about this movement energy, because we're talking about letting go. Like full moons are about releasing. So this is an encouragement for you to move on. Move on, move past, close the chapters, let go. For some of us, it could be literal moving, like movement, like going somewhere or like actually moving. But this just feels a lot about relationships and things we're finally ready to let go of. So you could see this a lot with like friendships ending or really strong boundaries with family or relationships ending. Did I say that already? For whoever wasn't here in the beginning, I mentioned how the full moon kept me up all night. And if I look tired, it's because I am. I even just surrendered at one point in the middle of the night and went and sat out in the moonlight and was like, okay, well, here we are. This is what it's supposed to be. So yeah, really evaluating our relationships. Don't be afraid to speak up for yourself. Don't be afraid to speak boundaries. Pay attention to what you're being shown. If you're having a sudden realization about someone. And I want to circle back to the staying on course and keeping your boundaries strong, because I do think that there could be a possibility for distractions here, to like throw us off course, throw us out of whack. And I think it's really important that we pay attention right now, because we're really meant to stay focused and to stay true to ourselves. And I think a lot of us know exactly what that means. So be careful of distractions, be careful of delusions or influences that could be not clear. There's like a floaty energy around that's kind of foggy and mysterious, and I think some of us could be a little like lost or influenced in that. So think things through, sit with your decisions, stay true to yourself, stay on your course, and just pay close attention to the way that you relate to yourself, the way that you relate to others. I think that I feel complete with this. Does anybody have any questions? If anyone does, anything you want to talk about in regards to this full moon, this lunar eclipse, or anything like that, please let me know. Before I hop off of here, we can have a conversation about it. But you guys can find this recording on my page with all of the information that I just went over. And yeah, stay strong, stay firm in your boundaries, trust yourself. Know that it's going to be okay. Remember that really big, exciting energy that you might be feeling right now, where you're like, I feel stressed or I feel anxious, might be excitement, because I feel like a lot of us are picking up on some big changes that are coming into our life. So try to hold space for that to be something that's positive and that will lead us to good things. But I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your full moon. Definitely do this ritual. And yeah, I love you guys.